Hi, thank you SCB 10X for the invitation. My name is Rocky, founder of AGI House. So AGI House is an AI founder research community. They have a mission to accelerate humanity transition to AGI. We also have a pre-seed seed stage VC fund that invests in primarily AI native startups. So today we have a very special guest, Tyllen from Payman. He's going to talk to us about AI and payments. So welcome, Tyllen.
Hey, Rocky. Thanks for having this chat with me, and thank you to SCB for putting on a great event. Yeah, excited to talk all things AI and money.
Amazing. So do you want to give a brief intro? What's Payman and what are you guys doing?
Yeah, so at Payman, we're building the trust layer between AI and money, especially when it comes to AI moving money. We've been around for a year and a half. We've raised $13 million to date. We are backed by Visa, Coinbase, Circle. A year and a half in AI payments world feels like a lifetime. Since we started, in January did the first ever ACH transaction by an AI agent here in San Francisco, where funny enough, the first ever human ACH transaction also happened. We've been now really focused on working with banks to help them deploy AI agents that can move money on behalf of their customers. And we think we built a really neat solution that's safe, reliable, and scalable. And we're well on our way to everyone having an AI agent that they can talk to and send money to their nanny, go out and pay their biggest bills, and all of that fun stuff. So excited to dive into that.
Amazing. Yeah, what a futuristic scenery. Agent paying the humans and the other agents. So amazing. Would love to hear more about that. So I know you guys raised like a 30 million from investors like Visa, Coinbase Ventures for payment. What convinced the financial giants that AI agent payment represent a critical infrastructure investment rather than just another fintech solution in your mind?
So I the number one thing, especially a year and a half ago when we were starting, it was not that clear how AI would get access to money. I'd still say it's probably not as clear. It's definitely clearing up. But what was pretty straightforward to most of the big tech giants, especially in fintech, is the current systems aren't built to support AI agents' technical architecture for how they interact with APIs. We see that today when it comes to building an AI agent that needs to, do anything when it comes to a financial transaction. The APIs are either pretty old, they don't have the full detail that an AI needs to be able to make a decision on when it should call an API. And on top of that, a lot of the current systems for moving money were built under a very deterministic way, which is I go to a site and I will click a button. And when I click a button, that API is called and then that action happens. With AI, it's very probabilistic. An AI determines when it should choose to call a tool or, in that point, call an API. When it comes to financial transactions, leaving that much to chance is not that great. So what you need to do to make that more of a reality is you need to build more guardrails around the existing API set, how the AI agent interacts with it, who's responsible if these things go wrong. And that was a big opportunity to just recreate something that we know will be moving more money for us, which is AI, whether at a bank, whether, 5 years from now, a totally autonomous AI agent coming up to you, Rocky, and being like, hey, can I get $100 to go and do this for you? Like all of that needed to be rebuilt. And if the opportunity from just going into enterprises and building AI solutions to, 5 to 10 years from now in the future, when you have tons of independent AI agents that can replicate, that can do so much more, you're going to end up getting more AI agents that need access to money than humans need access to money. So the opportunity was was huge. And I think that's why we saw them take a leap in the early days. But it's still not slowed down. I think people are seeing more and more opportunity here, which is exciting. It's the kind of space you want to be in, where even since then, there's been more and more opportunity. So it's been great.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to leave my bank account too probabilistic. I don't want to wake up tomorrow. My account is like nine figures and the day after is zero, right? So you speak about you talk about guardrails, which is very, very important for the adoption of the agents, right? In actually all the enterprise application, not just about the money, the most critical thing here we're talking about. When you talk about the guardrails, what are the techniques? I know we would go to details more later, but like I want to have a very, very high level. What do you guys do to make the guardrails really work? Because like I mentioned, the generative AI fundamentally is probabilistic. And then how do you make the probabilistic and deterministic, right? Kind of that situation.
Yeah. If you look at and to give you an anecdote, we've had many wallet companies, many banking companies come to us and ask, how do we get more AI agents to use our APIs? And the question is, well, where are the use cases for AIs moving money? Why aren't AIs using our wallets? How do we make them ready? And it's like, well, none of the amount of work a developer needs to go through to just build all the guardrails around the money functions takes away from their core thing of building the business. So when someone wants to go to, let's say even PayPal, and try to integrate PayPal into their AI agent, we've had developers tell us like, we're so worried about like the AI sending money on behalf of someone that like we just stopped building. So the main things you need to worry about with this is when the agent is making a decision to go and move money, who does it need to go get authorization from? Okay, so that's first. And then this second is whose policies, like this person that we're getting authorization from now, what are the policies through which they've delegated this AI agent access to do it under these circumstances? So the developers don't need to be building all of that. They need to inherit a solution that can go and do that. So here's spend limits. Here's payees, where it's like the AI agent can only pay these people. The AI agent can only share account information if I've said it can share account information. You can imagine, Rocky, I have an AI agent that you're interacting with. This happens with one of our vendors all the time. They're like, they actually, it happens with one of my vendors when I try to pay them, where I go and I ask them for their ACH, and then they have to go and search up their their routing number, their account number, and things like that should be delegated to an AI agent that I can just ask. And they'll be like, just speak to my AI agent. And here's this AI agent is allowed to share this information. And even all those fine granular controls need to be built in from like a guardrails perspective. So these are some of the first, just like what I would say, high level guardrails, authorization, policies, pays. Then you have the second level, which is now that we have all of this protection in place, how do we prevent a person from doing a malicious intent to that AI agent? The really cool thing is, because you can see prompt history and conversation history, you can actually try to watch out for like prompt injection and like more malicious intent, because it's much more clear, because you see how the intent behind why the AI agent is doing something came to be in the first place. So we monitor for that all and a plethora of stuff that is like, you can dive into any of these and start like really nitpicking on why are we doing it this way, why it's important, why it takes development time, why you need a ledger to then like be something that's distributed back to these developers. And all of this is needed to be updated and changed in what we provide to devs trying to build in this space.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think once we build this trust between the agents and the human, I would be as a user would love to like have more collaboration, more comfortable about leaving my wallet to the agents. So And then your philosophy on like centering on AI and humans will always work together. Basically, that's what you explain, rather than AI replacement. How does this AI human collaboration model translate into concrete ROI for enterprise, considering AI agent payment system?
It's it it's very obvious that AI will be commonplace at every enterprise. Um, there will be places where it will replace some jobs, and there will be places where it will amplify other people with their jobs, like every other great technology. I think we don't want to just focus on the replacement of jobs. I started this company called Payman for a reason, which was how do we get AIs to pay people? I think the overwhelming theme was AIs will replace us all. We'll pay AI agents to do all our things. And it felt like the flow of money was going towards AIs instead of humans. So we need to get some of that money back. And, a great way to incentivize great relationships between humans and AI agents is through capital. And why not figure out ways to give AI capital to then, move money on behalf of humans and eventually spend towards also being actors in the economy and paying other people that are doing valuable things. Um, I think that human AI collaboration is like it hasn't been put in a place, or it's been being tried and tried, but in terms of payments and finances and banking, there's still so much more room where humans and AIs can work together. Yeah, I would compare it to engineering, where within engineering you can see how AIs and humans are working together. Did it help amplify a ton of engineers? Yes, it's probably helped amplify way more engineers than it's helped replace engineers. So then if you look at the same thing with banking and money movement and payments, one of our visions is we want to live in a world where humans don't think about money. Thinking about money should be left to AI agents. And for AI agents to then go and think about the money and the overhead of, hey, I have to go pay my nanny by the end of the week, the AI should already know that for me. The AI should be checking my savings account and then moving money to my checkings in case I'm missing things. The AI should be able to reach out to my nanny and be like, hey, I need your information so that I can pay you. All of these, I don't know about you, Rocky, but like I'm always thinking about money and moving from my bank's accounts and going to my banking app more often than most people. It's just something that should be collaborated with an AI agent once we can trust it.
I see. I mean, if I'm working on AI finance startup, payment startup, I probably think about money all the time. But most of the time, I think about the humans, not money.
Yeah.
My job is my start AGI House about people, like founders like you. So well,
And I believe that's where you want more AI tools to do all of the unnecessary stuff so that you can spend more time thinking about the human side.
absolutely, totally agree. I feel like that's how we see AI. I still, even like with all the capabilities, I feel like the whole idea of this AI revolution is for to unleash ourselves whole potential to as human interaction or other things that would make us human and leave the other mundane stuff to the AI.
Yeah.
So, yeah, speaking of, I mean, we touched a lot about the enterprise just now during the conversation. I would love to drill down a little more. Like, today, to enterprise leaders are understandably cautious about giving AI agents access to company funds. I mean, not to mention like personal money that for the enterprise, of course, they are much bigger scale. So walk through your security architecture. How do you enable AI payment autonomy while maintaining necessary human oversight control mechanism? I know we have some kind of guardrails you just explained. There are some ways, but in to build the trust, right? You need to have okay. This is the thing exactly. What do we do? One, two, three, four. Okay, you can trust me if in that way, right? Can you explain that in a more straightforward way?
You're totally spot on and great question. I think the main thing enterprises care about is how are you mitigating risk in this and can you deploy a solution? Like so many people are coming to enterprises today with AI can do everything. And they're like, okay. Like, give me something that I can actually go and deploy and do, and that adds real value to my business. And the thing that we've figured out is, especially like, we're tackling a very hard thing, which is getting AI to move money. We've intently wanted to do that because it's going to be extremely valuable when people trust more and more of this to happen, and it's trusted by Payman. So we go to the enterprises, and why enterprises have already started to trust us is we know the language they speak. We come from a background of banking. We come from a background of AI, and we know all the controls they need to control this AI agent. And the other part is we don't give them access to the bank accounts, right? Like, there's no AI agent that can just, do things without going through this middle layer before. One of the things that is kind of a tangent is the reason why it's so hard for enterprises to build an AI agent that moves money is the fact that you need to build an MCP server around your payments APIs and then give an AI agent access to that MCP. Like, that's too close. There's no degrees of separation there. And then you have to rely on them to know how to build the MCP and how to build the authentication pieces into there and how to build the memory and how to build the context. Those are all things that we need to take care of. So what we do is, on one part, we go to them and we're like, we know the AI you need. Here's how the AI works. So we show how the AI works. We show how it can move money. We show how it can rebalance savings and checkings accounts. We show how it can understand how fees work at a bank. And then once a customer is asking about fees and they wonder why they're being charged, the AI agent can be proactive and help them. So the AI agent sells cool. They're like, okay, this experience is really great, but how do we implement this? Then that's when we have this control center that we show them, which is, this is how you deploy your AI agent. This is how you have all the audit logs for tracking what this AI agent's doing so that you can export this and send this to legal whenever they ask, like, how is this agent performing? We have kill switches, which is, this is how you shut down the AI agent in case you guys want to do this. We have version control, which is, this is one version of the AI agent that you've deployed. This is the second version. We have scopes, which is, what can this AI agent do? Can it read only access? Can it have write access? Maybe I don't want it to do transfers until I trust it more. Voila. You have user management, which is, can I shut down a user's access to my AI agent? So in terms of all that control and level of sophistication, the enterprises need that, because just showing the solution is like great, but they're like, this is like, I'll never be able to deploy this. Now, here's your real way how to deploy it. And plus, do you need it hosted? Do you need it on-prem? We can deliver these solutions to you. It's talking in a language that they understand with, and once you start showing, speaking, proving you have the backing of the institutions to do this, how else can they, the name of this talk is, how do you trust AI to move money safely and reliably? You have to be a trusted actor. And that's what you need to provide to these enterprises.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first few is always the harder ones. Once you have a pilot and people, the brand name, the big guys are on your play, like on your side, and think the rest of the convincing is relatively easier. So yeah, a follow-up question. I think you achieved SOC 2, right, if I remember correctly, and the PCI compliance while integrating with both traditional banking and blockchain payments. What are the biggest technical and regulatory hurdles enterprise face when implementing AI agent payment infrastructure?
I think the number one thing is making them understand that this works with their existing systems. They get worried when you come to them and it's almost like, I have to incorporate another system. What's happening here? It's going to add more work. And it's like, no, this all lives, it's kind of a layer on top of everything you guys have already built. And to give another story, when we first started Payman, we set out on giving each AI agent access to its own bank account, right? So how do you give an AI agent access to its own bank account? What's an AI's identity? What does all that mean? What does it mean to the banks, et cetera? And as we start building that, we realize, well, and the reason why we built it that way is because the way we were trying to do it before is giving an AI agent access to money was needed for it to pay people. giving an AI agent access to bank accounts. Cool, we did that. The problem we ran into is, well, the people building these AI agents would deploy an AI agent with one bank account. Well, when they want to do anything meaningful, let's say build an AI agent that pays bills, because that AI agent has one bank account, it would store all of its users' funds in one place. And with it storing all the funds in one place, you become a money transmitter. So you need to think, okay, well, I need to build a different solution. Now I need to go build a solution where maybe the AI doesn't need just one wallet, because it's very hard to build any kind of agent as a developer to do that. So maybe the AI agent needs access to money. Okay, so now how do I go build this? Well, now you need to go to places where deposits exist. Okay, well, maybe I'm going to build a solution where anyone can spin up multiple wallets as an AI agent and then connect these wallets to existing users' wallets. Basically, we've run through the gamut of everything and try to make it as regulatorily like viable as possible. The only real way to make it so regulatorily viable, at least from what we've seen thus far, is to go where deposits and trust already exist and build on top of their existing systems, because it doesn't change any of the regulatory side. It's still a human acting on behalf. Maybe there's some legal contracts that need to be updated when the person uses the AI agent for the first time. But that's to the extent of what we've seen thus far. So, which makes it nice and less scary to adopt.
Got it. Yeah, I wish I can start an AI payment company now, following what you just said. Definitely. Coming from your background at Meta and in Web3, how do you see stablecoins and blockchain technology solving the faster, cheaper cross-border payment challenges that traditional banking can't address for global AI operations?
I think anything that can be done with stablecoins today, or frankly, any payment rail that people are doing, can be done agentically too. And what I mean by that is, like, even if you think about it as a very simple going to MoneyGram, sending money through MoneyGram, even like it sounds like it's not as cool, but it's actually very cool. Is today MoneyGram, it's a bunch of inputs, it's a bunch of boxes. It's no, you don't come, you come to MoneyGram with an intent, but the way you complete your intent is through the pre-described, UI that they have. Well, let's say tomorrow MoneyGram wants to offer an AI agent to do all of that on top of them, and they also want to offer stablecoins. How do they then go about doing that? Well, you need to figure out like how to build this AI agent to work safely with the money that it's moving. In which case, I think stablecoins or regular ACH or wires, it doesn't matter necessarily what rail, it just matters how do you complete the intent. So me coming from crypto, I intently started Payman as a non-crypto company, because even though we do support stablecoins right now, the reason we support it is because we really wanted to get deep with banking. Because if AI moving money is going to be about trust, you can't necessarily go straight AI in crypto, because a lot of people will not take you so seriously. And we were like, we're just going to go the harder route and figure out, can we get banks and institutions to trust us? So getting Visa on board was huge. And then what we end up doing with the stablecoin side is we will partner with banks in the US to make our services available internationally. It's easier to do stablecoin rather than going and partnering with every other bank in every other country, learning all their regulations, all these things. But what I will say is, even though we started that way, we're now moving towards the point where now we have to start partnering with the institutions in other countries, because not everyone wants USDC in their country. If you go to India, you have UPI, which is an incredible payment system that you would love to integrate with, that does basically what stablecoins do here in the US. When you go to the UAE, it's the same thing. And also, because I was at Uniswap before, I thought so much about how important liquidity was in terms of creating really successful applications. To create really successful AI applications, they need to be able to access where liquidity already is, instead of working to bring liquidity into another place to then do something meaningful with it. So to be determined where all of the things with stablecoins and AI land, but I think there's a lot to be determined with AI and money movement thus far.
Got it. Yeah, let's make AI for the traditional money moving work first.
Yeah.
Or not a part. Cool. So that's switch a little bit. So Google recently launched this agent payment protocol with probably 60 plus organizations to standardize AI payments. As an infrastructure matures, how do you envision the relationship between AI agents and the human workers evolving in the enterprise context?
So I think all of these protocols are awesome. For example, we use AP2, we use A to A protocol, because we think that in this, when people are building an AI system, let's say, and deploying it to enterprises, it's not really one AI agent. It's a series of multiple AI agents all working together to complete intent. Everything is about completing intent. I want to find the best thing to buy for my daughter's birthday. AI helps you complete intent. I want to search for this. AI helps you complete intent. I want to send money to my friend. AI helps you complete intent. The AI, the entry point is just the entry point that then assigns to all these different AI agents that work together. So I think these protocols have opened up a Pandora's box of what you can build. And I think one of the important things is payments, and kind of the opinionated view we have is there should be an AI agent that understands money better than anybody else. And it should be part of this multi-agent system. So whenever an agent system works together to then complete something that involves a payment, maybe there's something that we like to coin called a pagent that then works in that multi-system and actually handles the payment. And that thing might have more guardrails and policies and different protocols attached to it, like X402, AP2, the TAP protocol from Visa, all of these things that helps it complete that intent. So, or as you also meant, like you might have to reach out to a human also and get the authorization and do this. That single AI agent is basically its like own version of a payment processor in Web2 world today. I've sometimes joked that like building agentic chat on websites that shops is almost like that's the new payment processor. Is you go, it has your details, it'll just complete the payment, and voila, it doesn't look like a POS terminal today. It looks different, but it's actually where the point of sale happens and it completes it. So yeah, all of these protocols are helping that. I think any which way people try to get involved in building on these protocols is going to be so exciting, because every day there's like a new one that launches, and it's needed because the space is still maturing. And the fact that new protocols are needed is like exciting. It tells you that there's something real and different happening here. And the fact that Google, Visa, and Coinbase, all of them see that, it tells you that there's tons still left to be built.
Amazing. I like the pagent, the term you just coined.
I know. I got to get that trademarked quick.
Yeah, you got to do it trademarked. We and the audience here the first. So we have like probably 2 minutes left, and then we will want to go through a very quick last question. You mentioned that mastery and skill makes human happy because they makes us feel competent and useful. As AI agents become more capable of autonomous transactions, how do we ensure this technology enhance rather than diminish human economic participation? So we can answer this question very briefly. Yeah.
I think that's an interesting point. I think when you think of agents moving money, there's like what people don't realize is there's many ways of agents moving money for different purposes. There's this really hot part called agentic commerce, which is agent shopping. And then there's this other part where it's like agentic transfers at banks, money movement, etc., where I think we live quite often. The agentic commerce part, we've like dabbled in and out of it for a while. I don't know if shopping will necessarily be done that way agentically, because there's so much human involvement that people love to discover things, that people like to go and like maybe if it can be built in a way where it doesn't totally replace the human, but rather enhances the experience, it might be done better. And I think building things that way actually makes the product better and more sticky. Like OpenAI's ChatGPT enhances a lot of what we do already. I don't think like I have a newborn. Well, she's a year and a half now, but when we were sleep training her, I would go to ChatGPT and ask it for like emotional support on how to handle my wife, who was also like basically like, why are you sleep training our daughter? She's crying so much, all of this. And I was like, ChatGPT, help me tell my wife what to say. And it's like, it didn't necessarily like change. It didn't do it for me, but it helped enhance me. So I think that the point on how you design these things and what your intention is behind actually helping the person will become very important. And that's up
Absolutely.
to people, right?
Yeah, I guess it's the design of the intention, right? Well, I wish we could continue talking. I can do this all day long, but time is up. So thank you again. It was wonderful talking to you, Taylor. I would love to continue the conversation offline.
Awesome, Rocky. I appreciate it, man. And thank you for a great conversation. Ciao.
Absolutely. Bye.